Google is cutting back some of its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, following in the footsteps of many other big companies. This comes after President Trump signed an executive order intended in part to pressure government contractors to end their DEI programs. For more on this, I'm joined by Delano Massey. He's the managing editor at Axios, joining us from Atlanta this morning. So why are we seeing companies walk back their DEI efforts really across the board?
Well, I think a lot of times, there are things that happen that are just very cyclical in nature. And I think we look at history, history can actually give us a record of that. In 2020, we saw some unrest, and that summer of unrest and that reckoning led to some companies actually making these commitments. About 50% of corporate or Fortune 500 companies actually said that they were going to address systemic racism in some way. And we're starting to see that rollback happen now. And this has been years in the making since the affirmative action ruling in the Supreme Court in 2023. This is something that President Trump had actually campaigned on to eliminate wokeism, and the movement for inclusion and diversity, equity, and inclusion programs were just a part of this.
So what then does all of this mean for efforts to dismantle, segregative policies or white supremacy? What happens? I know that some companies have decided to hang on to DEI initiatives.
Yeah, there's been some studies at UMass, and they have looked at this closely. I think that what you're starting to see now with some of the companies like Target, you just mentioned, Google, that some people were truly making commitments in 2020. They recognized that there were systemic issues at play and that they needed to address this, including giving people some bonuses. And I think you'll also see some consumers and you'll see employees who will take action in their own hands. And we saw Dr. Jamal Bryant on Sunday encouraging his congregation to boycott Target in March. And we've seen this playing out in different ways. And this is kind of similar to the bus boycott. So the things that are happening today, my mom would say that there's nothing new under the sun. It's also like a biblical reference. But I think that what we'll see is, how people take action into their own hands, and that includes consumers.
And to your point, you wrote an article for Axios recently in which you said this push to erase Black history isn't theoretical anymore. It's already happening. Can you elaborate on what you mean by that?
Yeah, that there are things that have been happening. We go back to the 1619 project done by Nicole Hannah-Jones at the New York Times Magazine, and we're starting to see more and more. There is a sort of political push where the things that actually were part of the past, the sweeping executive order that basically undoes the work of the civil rights movement, and we're starting to see that some of the businesses, affirmative action, those inclusion programs that date back decades, that has been undone. This also aligns with some of the book bans. So we're seeing conversations about critical race theory that were actually being, this is like a misinformation campaign in some ways because this is inaccurate. And I think that the question becomes, who ends up being harmed by this and what is the actual benefit? And what we have seen is that this is, trickled into book bans. We've seen sort of record numbers of books being banned that mention anything that have to do with race and certainly the LGBTQ community. And that continues. And we'll probably see even more of that today because some of the actions that have been taken have actually said, well, we don't really need to analyze some of these books that were being questioned. Like, why did these books get on the banned book list? Well,
Right.
this is getting pushed back to the states, and this is getting pushed back to the schools, and they're saying that parents should make those decisions. And this has also become sort of a question of whether it's a First Amendment right issue, because this is for librarians, this is censorship. And so they're very much concerned about like where this goes from a legal standpoint.
Right.
So I think, whether somebody is true in a company or if we're talking about private companies, federal government, like, the history that we have and we preserve and
Yeah.
who gets to tell history is in question.
You make a very good point. There's always been a struggle for equality in this country, and it continues. Delano Massey, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.